Hey guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me here to talk about our Plumber Referral Program, Plumber Partner Referral Program here for wet out now cleaning and restoration covering all of New York City and into Nassau County. So I'm going to talk real quick about how the program works. It's actually very, very simple. Really what you do is you happen to run into a customer or client that has a problem in their house and they have a flood on the floor, flood on the ceiling, flood on the wall, backup from sewer, whatever that happens to be. You are now able to get a resource out there to clean that up for them and get paid to do so. So we really appreciate your time today. We're going to get into it. We work with the New York City Master Plumbers Council. We're an active member of that too as well. We see them every single week. So if you remember that, you probably do know us and have run into us. So we are around 24/7, 365. That's the key part. Just like you guys, we're available to cover the loss anytime, any day, pretty much anywhere within the greater New York City area. So we really can cover all your needs when it comes to water cleanup and sewer cleanup and things like that. What we do, we clean up after flood damages, water damages, sewer cleanups, and even we deal with mold remediation, which in New York you have to have a license to do. So we're able to do that for everything from a small job to a mid-sized job to a large commercial job. We just finished one on a church that was rather big and took us about 3 weeks to get taken care of. So we can handle any size job. For the customer's benefit, we do actually work with most homeowners insurance, most of the major carriers. So if they have an insurance policy on the house, we will usually be able to direct bill their insurance company and not even take much or any money out of their pocket up front as long as they have proof of insurance coverage, which most people do. Just depends on the situation, what exactly happens. But it's pretty simple for us to figure out very quickly what they have and that we can work directly with their insurance carrier and keep the amount of money that they have to pay out of pocket down to a bare minimum. So we do work with a lot of different insurance companies. That's the nice thing about it. How it works, customer calls your office or runs into you guys and technicians in the field and sees that they have a damage, they have a water heater that leaked, they have a pipe that burst in the wall, something froze, something from the furnace, something from the water heater blew out. Anything, it really doesn't matter. When it's water related, we can usually get it covered with their insurance company. It's very simple. We just find out what the problem is. We look at their insurance policy, call their insurance provider, help them file claim if need be. We don't mind doing it at all. That helps them greatly when it comes to this. And we actually go out there and handle pretty much everything from A to Z, from the cleanup and then the dry out process, and get everything taken care of for them. So we cover a lot of different stuff. You see some examples right here of leaky roofs. Which happens actually quite a bit, especially with the rain we've had this year. We have water heater leaks, toilet leaks, supply line leaks are pretty common and they cause a lot of damage. Leaking dishwashers, overflowing dishwashers, pretty much anything when it comes to water. And as you can see right here, well, there's no explanation needed. We deal with sewer cleanup too as well, and it's probably 40 to 45% of our business. So as it says right here, well, this stinks. That's very true, but there is an opportunity for you there when you run into it. We run into jobs like this, just like we went down to Texas and Florida this year to work with some people, some referrals that we had, some people from New York City that had homes down. They were glad to go down and help them out with the hurricane and everything. And, you know, that happens pretty much on a yearly basis. We've been pretty good, but now it does happen. And you can see right here, it happened over here in Cedar Falls a few years ago. And to the right, you see the New Orleans Superdome. And yes, that is not a pull around the Superdome. I was there actually during that. And it was a pretty intense situation, and God willing, it's never going to happen again. The flooding actually was a little bit worse in Texas, from what I understand this time, just because of the amount of rain they got, but they were definitely not prepared for it. They were definitely, if I could call it more prepared, if you could be more prepared for it in Houston than they were now. And here's a picture of Houston right there. That is downtown. So that is a site, apocalyptic site that you probably won't see too often. Here's another one too as well. You can see it going into the city. These are not Photoshop, these are real. But we much rather get calls for things like this where they've got overflowed sinks, water damage has hit the floor, it comes across the top of it, goes into an apartment below it, into the basement level or lower level of the house. No matter where it is, we are very good at finding out where the water is in the house and drying it out and making sure they don't have any risk of mold growth, microbial growth, any type of risk when it comes to the water damage portion of it. We will handle that 100%. These are the most common types of water damage out there. This one, you see this little smiley face right here. That's a big thing during the frozen time of the year when the temperatures really hit a deep freeze and they pop. That nice little smile is not happiness, but it is an opportunity for you when those pipes thaw out. They crack and they freeze, and They cause quite a bit of damage, as we all know. Same thing with the pipe you see over here to the right. With water blowing out of it, just the gasket itself, the washer itself had blown out just from time and inside the wall and caused quite a bit of damage. Big or small, doesn't matter. It could be just a little small issue on the floor. You found a little bit of water, give us a call. We'll be glad to talk to the customer, the client, over the phone and see if it's something that we can fix in a quick realm, or we have to come out there with the truck and take care of everything. No matter what size job it is, big or small, we do come out. I don't think it's something that is too small for us. We do go out and handle all size jobs. Like I just said, we dealt with a big church, and we deal with small. We've done floods that have covered 5 floors down near Grand Central Station in Manhattan in the city. And we've done little puddles on the floor where the customer got to make sure that there are no potential for mold growth for their children, pets, dogs, whatever the case it may be. So how do we work with you guys? Well, the big thing is we know that word-of-mouth referrals are the biggest part. We know that you run into these situations. We know that you run into these opportunities all the time to have us being referred to your customers, that we will do a great job every single time with a service without excuses mentality to make sure that we will dry their home, we will deal with their insurance company, we will get them back and all ready for their general contractor to put their house back together. We work with a lot of general contractors too as well, but we always work with whoever the customer wants to have in their house, and when putting things back together, but we can be a one-stop resource to people, right down to even flooring if need be. Here is an example of somebody to the left of it's sad but true, just like the Metallica song. They instead of cleaning up the flood, they planted a garden, which means they grew some mold all over the place. And mold can be an issue, and also one of the issues that we didn't talk to too much is bacteria. So if a person has a sewer or drain cleaning backup, making sure that that bacteria is cleaned up, that's even more dangerous, considerably more dangerous than even mold. So it's something that definitely has to be handled. And of course, we do the little dry out. You can see over to the right here. So that's a big thing. We have different type of drying situations. You can see to the left an open air exchange where we exchange air in and out of the house, depending on the time of the year. Sometimes this is extremely effective, in particular if you've got a house in downtown Brooklyn or some of the older parts of the city themselves. They need to make sure that we have the proper equipment to dry the materials. If we can't, we have to remove plaster wall drying. You can see right here where the little prongs are going to the wall to dry it behind the wall instead of removing the plaster. And of course, a drying situation, a little bit of a heat chamber right here. You can see this is a little bit of heat drying. Over here to the left, you'll see an infrared camera that detects this little area down here where you see in the blue and the dark blue areas. That in particular is water, the very, very bottom. It's almost like what a cavity would look like with a tooth. It's the very bottom, but that area is heavy, heavy water. This is a little less water. And of course, this is the heat being applied to the brick behind it. And there's a picture of what that looks like when you're trying to dry it piece by piece. Pretty cool, huh? So this is how we explain it. When your customer has a flood, first question, ask them if they have somebody to clean it up. Sometimes they'll have a relative. That relative might have the best of intentions, but at the end of the day, they really don't know exactly what they're doing for the most part. They can go out there and sometimes make more of a mess, and unfortunately, the insurance company only wants to pay for something one time if they're working with them. So you need to choose wisely, making sure that company, whoever they may be, is going to do it right. Let them know that you have someone that can come on out and that can help them settle the loss for them. Very simple. We will go and deal again with their insurance company. We will file all the paperwork. We will work on their behalf to deal with their insurance company to make sure everything is covered thoroughly and honestly every single time. We guarantee a 1-hour response time. That means we will respond to the claim within 1 hour. We arrive at the house usually between 60 and 90 minutes. Something that doesn't happen too much. It's very difficult to do here in New York City, because it's so big and traffic is so bad. So we can get out there relatively quickly. And like I said, most of the time it's within 60 to 90 minutes, no matter where it is. We have a logistical system that works very well. It's like a mini Amazon version. All over the city, different response places where we can grab equipment from at any given time in order to respond that way. And that's something we've developed that has been working very, very well. We just had it tested with a heavy flooding here in January of 2018 with a lot of frozen pipes, and it worked pretty flawlessly when it came to getting equipment. And here's the big one. They can choose anybody they want. Doesn't make a difference who it is. It could be me, Mickey Mouse, Santa Claus Restoration. Doesn't make a difference. It's got to be somebody they're comfortable with. I need to have a company that knows what they're doing, that can get out there and handle the situation for them. So this is how this happens to work. You get a call again from the customer. From the house, you give us a buzz. the customer's phone, your phone, whatever the case is. Let us know you're with whoever that is. If that person is, we'll just say, for namesake, Mrs. Smith or Mrs. Jones. You say, I'm at Mrs. Jones' house at the property, and she has a flood, and she needs to have somebody out here to clean it up, in a semi-quick fashion. She's got this much damage. It's an affected area. Simple things like that. You just give us a description. Let us know. We'll immediately talk to the customer. Mike in our office is phenomenal at dealing with that. And he will walk them through everything and prepare them for what needs to happen, and then let them know that we will be on our way. As it says right here, we come out ASAP. The good old Wet Out Now truck runs to the rescue, so to speak. Now, here is what it is in for you, so to speak. We have a program that is incentive-based. So, at the lower end of something, on a minimum amount, when you refer a job to us and we actually do the job, which most of the time we do, about a 96% closing rate. There are 4% times that we do not get it. When you get a lot of extreme weather, again, like we just had, it's a little tougher to keep that. But in general times, we're about 96%. So if you refer us a very small job, and I mean small when I mean small, the minimum amount you can get is $200. It doesn't make a difference. That is a very, very small job. The normal amount we pay is about $400. So, an example of that would be if we do a job that is, let's just say, around $1,000, that would usually generate about $200, about 20% of the claim, which is a pretty good amount of money to be paying out on a claim, especially when you have all the costs to go out there and do it. So the minimum amount somebody will make is $200. On the average, most people are between $1,500 and $5,000 in the claim. That pays $400 on the claim. So that's $400 is paid to either you or to your company, whether it's a split between you or the company you work for, or you directly, depending on your situation. We have a bunch of different methods, so it really depends on how they want to do it. If somebody owns the business, obviously it's their choice to let us in to do work with you or not. So we honor and respect that, and we're glad to work any way we have to with that. And as much as 10%. Now, the example of that is if you happen to be a plumber and you own the company itself. This is your company, or your lead tech, or whatever the case is, and your commissions are big. The 10% is the biggest amount. Now, the reason the 10% is so big, we just completed a bigger job, like I said, upstate, and that job ended up billing about $33,000. The referring partner got $3,300 for that, or 10%. So it's not limited to just $200 or $400. It really depends on the size of the job. We did several jobs here that were over $10,000, and you do the math, it's $1,000. So you really, really can't beat it, guys. When it comes right down to it, all you got to do is mention that you have somebody you work with that knows what they're doing, is glad to work with you and your insurance company, will benefit them and only them, and never work for their insurance company. Work for your customer on your behalf and get it taken care of every single time. You do that, we get out to the job site, we sign them up and get them ready to get everything done and get our crews out there. You get paid. It's that simple. We'd rather pay you than pay somebody like Google or Amazon or wherever we're going to spend ad clicks to, and different places we can spend it at. We'd rather pay the people that are running into it. You, the guys, are out there in the field working hard every single day. We'd rather give the money to you. So, guys, this is how this how the system works. It's very, very simple. Feel free to give me a call directly. My number is 516-444-9693, or you can call Mike in our office. His number is 347-925-9698. Our main office number for all calls that do come in is 347-925-9698. You can call us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We do respond, and we'll talk to the customer, and we will get a crew out there as quick as possible to handle it and make you look like a rock star every single time. So, guys, just keep that in mind. I really appreciate you being here today. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to one of us. We'll gladly help you. And we'll gladly train you if you want training on how to do it, how to work with a customer. We'll gladly come out there, buy you lunch, whatever the case is, and explain to you how the program can work. And it can be really life-transforming for you. So, guys, keep it in mind. I really appreciate your time today. Thanks so much, and enjoy. By the way, at the end of this, we were going to make sure anybody that actually followed all the way through this was going to know a certain code word. And if you happen to know this code word at the very end of the presentation, we will ship you a $25 gift card. No obligation, no anything, including some other promotional materials like flashlights and hand sanitizers and stuff we hand out all the time. We will send you a $25 coffee card, gift card, whatever the case is, just for that. So the key word to this is chic, like the Iron Sheik. So you just have to call and say the word chic. If you say the word chic at the very end of this, and you call our office up at 347-925-9698, we will send you a $25 gift card just because you made it all the way through this presentation. So guys, thanks so much. I appreciate your time, and we look forward to talking with you. Thanks. Bye.